Alan, I know I said last week I'd won lottery and he sold me a really expensive rod and reel setup.
You've been out, haven't you, all week?
I've been out all week. It's been a bad week, pal.
And back to reality.
Back to reality. I've sold it all, and I've only got £100 to my name. So I want your best value feeder fishing setup.
Right. Are we going? Are we going Allcroft again this weekend? We're going a bit of carp fishing.
Yeah, commercial fishing. Commercial fishing. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're guaranteed a few bites at this time of year, aren't we?
Well, you'd hope so.
Yeah. So.
Even me.
Well, steady on. Even lottery winners can only afford so much coaching, Tom.
That's it, isn't it?
Right, let's have a nice setup for £100, and you're going to get a bit of change. So you might even be able to. Well, you will be able to. £100, we're getting a rod, a reel, some line, and we'd even be able to chuck you a couple of method feeders in as well.
So under £100 for a full setup then,
yeah,
really?
Under £100. And to be honest, mate, do we need to spend any more than that as well? Because it'll wind the fish in, it'll cast out, it'll do exactly the same as a £500 setup, to be fair. And, and especially on the what I call the not lower end, but the shorter rod end of the market is 9 foot, 8 foot, 9 foot, 10 foot rods. People go, oh, I want to come in and buy a 9 foot rod for £300. Why? You're only chucking it from here to that railing over there. It's only going 10 metres. Anything will do that. And there is some absolute cracking setups on the market for less, say, £100 or less. And here's one we've got at the moment. It's a Nitro. It's a Nitro rod and reel setup. So we've got the Impax Nitro. On this rod I've put a 3000 reel on it.
Right.
Because it's only a 10 footer. We're not casting a million miles. So it doesn't have to be a big long spool reel. We're only keeping it nice and simple. We're just going to put some like 020 line on it, some like 6 to 8 pound line on it. So it don't have to be anything fancy, and it don't have to be over big because it's only going on a 10 foot rod. So we don't need to overpower everything, and also it keeps it nice and light and balanced in the setup.
Let's have a look. So what's the reel called? This one?
So this is the Nitro Impax 3000.
Impax 3000. It's
Can
a
you see
lovely
that?
looking little reel. Front drag on it there.
Yep, nice front drag on it. You've got
anti-reverse.
Anti-reverse on it.
Single handle.
Yeah, which does everything what you need.
Yeah.
And to complement that, we've got the Nitro commercial 10 foot carp feeder Impax again. So we've got a 10 foot rod and a 3000 reel.
Let's have a little bend into it. Let's see how it feels.
You get a couple of different tips. With
you get you get a spare spool with a reel?
No, not at that price, Tom.
No, you wouldn't expect to, would you?
But to be fair, with this kind of rod and reel setup, you're only going to usually use one line on it anyway, so you don't really need a spare spool.
That's a stunning for the money. I mean, that's
money,
lovely through action, isn't it?
It's beautiful. It's dead light. It's got a nice action on it. You're not going to crack off on a carp, but you can also, as well, with this rod, we've got a little bit of backbone here. So even with this rod, a 30 gram method, we comfortably chuck 40 to 50 metres with that if you wanted to do. So to the far side of somewhere like Allcroft, to the island on the Moat Lake, dead easy we'd be able to cast there. Or if we're just underarming it out on, because that's the new thing at the moment on commercials, isn't it? Like underarming it out onto like a pole line.
Yeah.
6-8 bottom of the shelves and stuff like that. Especially with a lot of matches now, what are feeder fishing matches, you're utilising your pole lines as feeder lines now. So you can just underarm a nice little 15-20 gram method, 6 to 10 metres out with that rod, and you've no qualms of getting out at double figures or whatever. And line for that, I would use that 020.
So we've actually got a Nitro trio, haven't we?
Yeah,
Nitro line, Nitro rod, Nitro reel.
Yeah, all for less than £100, which is a fantastic value range. And that is 020 diameter, so it's 7 pound, 3.2 kilo breaking strain. And as a reel line, unless you're catching £20 carp, that'll get most fish out at this time of year. You don't really need to fish much more than 20 mil diameter, because you can cast that then a long way with a methadone, or it's strong enough to catch a £10 carp as well. So that's my setup for winter commercial fishing for less than £100 is that.